Hey guys, I'm going to do a review of some trade setups that I posted last week. Last week my video covered three different setups that I really liked: INSG, pins, and AMD. You can review those setups from the video last week if you like. What we were looking for on INSG is we were looking for a weekly higher low setup. We had this weekly inside bar. We were looking for a bull break over 1129 and then continuation to set this lower high under this high of 1515. To start the week, we did see the bull break. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. This was Monday. Monday was a great day. We saw a big bull break on volume over this range where we saw notable selling that I highlighted last week into and closed above that level. That's great. Then saw a gap up sell-off on Tuesday, though on decreased volume, so I wasn't too concerned. As a reminder, I played this with calls that I was buying around this level here. The reason being is I was first playing commons and I was getting stopped out on the pullbacks on the hourly, so I was getting wicked out and stopped out on this action, this choppy action. So I just bought calls with a max risk. And accepting that mass risk because I like the setup, and then just held as other weaker hands continued to get shook out before this big move. So on the week we saw some big pullback that we also saw in the market with some choppy action, but then bulls were kept buying this dip, and we saw decreasing volume on the daily as we pulled back, and then we had this inside bar day on Thursday. Friday, I took half the day off, took a day off and went hiking here in Vancouver. Started thinking if we don't see a break above this 1053 level, I'm going to start to get nervous. 965 was my ultimate, okay, I'm wrong, bear scenario, at which point I would sell my calls and take a loss. Still holding my calls. I'm going to look to sell partial into this resistance of 1175 next week, as I anticipate a lower high is going to be needed, a higher low, and then maybe a bull break if we want to see continuation on this weekly, which is the ultimate goal. One last thing is on a move we want to see some increased volume. Bulls, I guess, could break this level, this 1175 resistance, but we're going to need to see increasing bull volume to really punch through that. Otherwise, if we see waning volume as we approach that level, that's when I'm going to start to look to take profit. I still have my full position, haven't taken anything off yet. Pins, let's go full screen on this guy. And let's clean this up. And let's go here. So, pins. This was an inverse head and shoulder setup with this neckline of 1986 and then this lower shoulder neckline of 1968. Actually, this was the resistance that I highlighted last week, 1944. This is Monday here, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, this was Monday. Saw this bull flag set up. We saw another dip. Bulls bought that dip. Nice low volume, perfect. Entered calls on that pullback on pins. Had a pop the next day. Again, consolidation, low volume. Bulls bought that dip. And then continuation on this uptrend. Something I was watching on pins is when we were seeing the market consolidation, and most notably in the tech sector and some market rotation that we saw throughout the week, pins stayed relatively flat. So it was showing relative strength. I thought if SPY can bounce here, there's a bullish correlation that we hopefully pick up, which we did. Yesterday, Friday afternoon, I took 1/3 position as we broke this high of day prior, 2023. I took a third of the position off. I'm going to take another third of the position off if we can break this gap fill and approach the $21 mark. I anticipate fairly significant resistance around this 2156, 2208, and this 200 simple moving average. So that will be my target. After I take the second third off the position, I'll probably end up riding the hourly higher lows. Reason being is I think we're looking for a weekly lower high under this 2208 resistance. and the volume on the daily is starting to wane. So again, similar to the INSG setup, is if we see decreasing bull volume as we approach this level and this potential resistance zone up here, that's how I'm going to start to look to capture that final piece of profit just to remain protective on the position. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that trade. Then there's AMD. Be better. What's happening? So here we were looking for weekly follow. This was a weekly cup and handle setup. We were looking for a break of 58.63. We noted small volume on the weekly and these upper wicks that we were being cautious of. The bear case being that we needed a weekly higher low before being confident of that break. We did see that weekly higher low. I was already in a position on Monday on this dip. I added to my position on this pullback, and I actually got stopped out. I got stopped out on in this action here. Actually, no, sorry, I did not enter here. I entered on this wick. I entered on this wick. We had this action that stopped me out because after the dip buy on the 27th, we were in oversold conditions looking for a weekly higher low. I had numerous scales here. I think my average was around 50-50, something like that. I sold a third of the position into strength to remain protective, and my stop was well into profitability. My stop was under $49, but even if I did stop out, I'd be profitable because of the size of this bounce. We knew we were looking for a weekly higher low, or an hourly higher low, excuse me. On this pullback overnight, we saw another attempt into the morning, change this hourly trend. I then set my stop under 51.58, which was taken out, unfortunately, with the 51.25. There was some consolidation again after hours into pre-market, and then we saw with QQQ, with that strong bounce with the market on Friday afternoon, we saw some nice buying with these showing these lower wicks, and then a move into Friday afternoon. So I am still interested in the weekly cup and handle setup. I may look to day trade this as we look for a daily lower high under this area, and on any consolidation, I'll be looking to again to get a position to play this weekly cup and handle. Of course, this kind of ruins that setup because we were looking for a weekly higher low. We had basically a double bottom at that level, if not an actual double bottom, 51.41. So we had a break. We had a bear break with no follow through. I still like that as a bullish case. And still looking for this weekly bull break here. So as we approach earnings, volume is decreasing. We'll see how this is going to shake out, or shape up rather. But there's opportunity here to see some bull momentum, given the price action that we've seen so far. So that's all I got. Thanks.